Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. This is Brunansky's vlog. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeremy Brunansky with Brunansky's vlog. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea. I've got my iced tea here. I've got the box office report from this weekend. And let's go ahead and take a look at one news story then that dropped this morning. We are live right now. We are going to cover Friday's box office. So for this weekend's box office, on these Facebook Live sessions, we do like to cover the weekend box office. So what does that mean? That means that this is pretty impressive, as you'll hear in a minute. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry. In theory, that film should have done gangbusters. This movie is so much fun. I think the rewatchability factor is super high. Wow, this was actually a fun time. I'm on board. Sign me up. Game over. If you're watching this on replay, thank you. All right, let's just get into it. Number 5, number 4, and number 3, number 2, and number 1. All right, we are back. It's Monday morning. Thanks everybody so much for joining us here on Brunansky's vlog. I hope everybody enjoyed episode 21. If you haven't had an opportunity to catch that, you may want to jump over to the YouTube channel after this Facebook live stream is over and check that out because a brand new episode did just drop this week. And this week's episode was a little bit longer. There's a couple of news stories, specifically the Disney-Fox merger, that I was particularly happy to discuss. And what you guys got was a very short and condensed version of what I actually originally recorded. My original recording for this episode was close to about 2 hours. But I was able to edit it down and condense it to about 45 minutes. So I tried to make it as concise as possible without being too repetitive. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, I hope you guys do enjoy it when you finally get back to watching that over on the YouTube channel. If you guys are watching this right now on Facebook Live, thank you so much. Again, on the YouTube channel, if you're watching this on replay, thank you guys as well. Let's go ahead and hop now into the weekend box office and see who's making money based on what we were all watching. So starting with the top 5, because we always go from the lowest earner to the highest earner for the weekend box office. So coming in at number 5, we have Thor Ragnarok, and that made $6,291,000. The Disaster Artist came in at number 4 with $6,435,514. Number 3, Wonder, $8,450,000. Number 2, Justice League at $9,595,000. And coming in at number 1 is Coco at $18,303,000. So overall, this really isn't too surprising because this kind of falls in line with the Saturday Facebook live stream where we looked at what the box office is doing on Friday. So it doesn't really appear to have changed that much. I do want to give a shout out to Coco because Coco joined the 3 Weekenders Club, which is number 1 for 3 weekends in a row. And now Coco sits on the board with movies for 2017 with movies like Split, Fate of the Furious, and The Hitman's Bodyguard. Now, if you guys still have not seen The Hitman's Bodyguard, I do recommend you check that out. That's Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson. And these two guys had so much fun making this movie together. It's palatable. You're watching this movie and it just feels like fun. It's one of the best like action meets action comedy films I've seen in a while. Surprisingly good. Definitely check it out now that it's available on DVD and Blu-ray. You should be able to grab that at Redbox for $1. Or you can just stream it. You should be able to rent it online as well. So definitely worth checking out there. One that surprised me, and if you saw this week's episode, you know that Just Getting Started, the new Tommy Lee Jones and Morgan Freeman flick, I was like, I have zero to little interest in seeing this movie, but enough of you guys were interested to see this movie, and your interest turned into action because you guys actually got out of your houses to get to the theaters to see this film because this film came in at number 10. So Just Getting Started came in at number 10, and let me find what the final figure was for that. It made $3,181,568. So, hey, great job to all of you fans out there that like Morgan Freeman and Tommy Lee Jones and wanted to see them together on the big screen for some sort of comedy. You hit the top 10, so opening weekend. So great job there. Or not opening weekend, but great job there still, coming in at the number 10. Want to go ahead now and move really quick into just a bit of news that dropped this morning. It's not really like earth-shattering, like, oh my goodness, that is the biggest news I've ever seen in my life. It's nothing like that. It's just something, the news itself dropped, and my reaction to it, I kind of like, it took me to a different place in my mind, and that made me laugh and smile. So I wanted to share it with you guys. So we have a new movie coming out that I'm very excited to see, and it's called Molly's Game. And it stars Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner are the three big hitters that are listed on the IMDb page. And it's directed by Aaron Sorkin. And the synopsis, in case you were unfamiliar, I'll just read you the synopsis real quick. The synopsis is the true story of Molly Bloom, an Olympic-class skier who ran the world's most exclusive high-stakes poker game and became an FBI target. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer for this yet, I definitely recommend you check that out. It looks like this is just going to be a super good movie, and it looks like it's going to be high drama. So I can't wait to see this. But in relation to this movie, some news dropped this morning that made me smile and laugh, because it didn't take me to a place in the movie. It took me somewhere completely else, and I'll share that right now. So Madison McKinley is an actress model who actually, in the real life story of Molly's Game, she actually helped Molly Bloom out. And Madison McKinley, the real life person, had to audition to play Madison McKinley in the movie. Now you might be going, what's great about that? Why did that make you smile? Why did that make you laugh? If you know me at all, you know that I love the TV show Seinfeld. It hasn't been on the air for a while. I don't care. I have all of the seasons on DVD and I still watch them. I love Seinfeld. And in one episode of Seinfeld, they actually have, so it's the, Seinfeld gets hired by NBC to write a pilot. And during this time, him and George decide that they're going to make a show about nothing, which is what the show about Seinfeld is, which makes it very meta. So they're going to make a show about nothing. And they're just going to use all the people in the show to do this. So it was called Jerry. And Kramer says that he wants to audition to be Kramer because he's Kramer. And when I read this news about Madison McKinley having to audition to play herself, it took me right to Seinfeld, and then I was just sitting in the back there going, this is great. I remember this episode, and now I want to watch Seinfeld. Because Kramer was like, but I'm Kramer. It was so good. It's so good. I'm not doing it justice, but it was very funny. Trust me on that. So I found that to be quite humorous. Also in the news this morning, the Golden Globes dropped their nominee list for this year's awards ceremony. Now, if you're the type of person who is fascinated and interested by the Golden Globes, this segment is for you. I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay, we can talk about it. I really personally, honestly, I don't care. The Golden Globes, like, it's okay. I get it. But it's not the Academy Awards. And I'll go ahead and explain that difference here real quick for you guys. In case you're going, well, why one over the other? 1 second. Excuse me. That was terrible. And I apologize. All right. So why the difference? Why do I care more about the Academy Awards than the Golden Globes? Well, mostly the voting base. The Golden Globes is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and right now that's ranging somewhere between 90 voters to 100 voters. So the voting base really isn't that grand. It's really kind of small. It's tight-knit. And it's, it's just a smaller group. You're polling from a smaller number, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But for me personally, I'm just like, yeah, it's only like 90 people to 100 people. You can really just kind of do what you want with that small group. It's a lot easier to influence votes that way. So for me, the Golden Globes is just like, okay, that's cool. It's the Golden Globes, whatever. But I'm not like getting excited and like wearing a little hat and blowing a noisemaker, like, woo! Like that's not happening for this guy. It's like, oh, okay, that's the Golden Globes. But if you like the Golden Globes, they did drop the Best Motion Picture and Best Motion Picture Musical or Comedy list this morning. So the 10 films right now that are being considered for Best Motion Picture and combination of Best Motion Picture and Comedy are Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, The Post, The Shape of Water, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Disaster Artist, Get Out, The Greatest Showman, I, Tonya, and Lady Bird. Now, the curious thing about all of this is that the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, for whatever reason, maybe it's a joke, I don't know, but they decided to vote Get Out as a musical or comedy. I don't know what's like. I'm assuming that everybody who was voting for this was either drunk the day they voted or they had no idea what Get Out was. But it's definitely not a musical or comedy. And if you have been, if you follow like movie news outside of this station, that you know that like people are already just like, what is going on? Why is this? And I really don't know. Like, it could be a ploy just to get people talking about it, because we're talking about it right now about how absurd it is to throw it in that category. So this may have been a great publicity stunt for the movie Get Out. We'll have to wait and see come Oscar season. But yeah, it's definitely not a musical or comedy at all. But yeah, so what is the difference though between the voting base for the Golden Globes and for the Academy Awards? So like I just said, it's about 90 to 100 people for the Golden Globes. Right now, the Academy Awards has more than 7,000 members in its voting base. And basically it works like this. If you're an actor, you vote for the best actors. If you're a director, you vote for the best director, producer, etc. And then all of those votes get tallied, and then they send it back to everybody who voted. So if you're an actor, now you get to vote on every category. But initially you only get to vote on yours. So it's peers recognizing peers, and then the industry recognizing the best of what all of the peers in those categories said the best should be, which I think is actually a better system for voting. So, and also when you have over 7,000 people voting, you might get a little bit more of an accurate portrayal than you would from the Golden Globes, because there's so many more voices that can be heard than just the 90 to 100. So I look forward to the Academy just to see kind of what nominations are going to drop, to see how many of those films I enjoyed, and then just to kind of see what everybody's reactions are online based on those nominations. But hey, you know, some people like the Golden Globes, and that's cool too. That's why they have it. It's a popular show. So hey, if you're into that, more power to you. And then before we sign off, let me just take a look here at the board, make sure there's no questions that I need to answer before we sign off for this week's episode. I don't see anything as of yet question-wise, so we are A-okay there. All right, I want to thank everybody for watching this Facebook live stream. Before we go, I did want to just mention one thing that I've been enjoying online as a movie fan and as a comic book fan, and I think you guys might enjoy it too. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you're watching this on Facebook Live right now, I'm actually going to throw below in the comments. I'm just going to copy and paste and throw it in there, a link for Collider Video. The good folks over at Collider are doing this top 50 superhero countdown for superhero movies. And they've just, like, every day a new number drops. And right now they're up to, where is it in my notes here? They're down to number 23. So they started with 50. Well, they started with an honorable mention, and then they did number 50, and now they're all the way down to number 23. And there's a specific playlist just for the top 50 superhero films of all time. So I'm going to put that in the comments below on Facebook Live. And if you're watching this right now on the YouTube replay, it's just going to be in the show notes. So you're still actually, no, I can actually, on YouTube replay, I'll just throw the playlist up here. Whoop, whoop, there it is. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be right here. I'll just throw it up. You can just click on that and head over and check that playlist out. I'm not going to say what the rankings are, but I picked out 5 in each category that I agree and disagree with for being in the top 50. So the 5 that I agree with that should be in the top 50 so far. So they're, again, honorable mention, number 50 all the way to number 23. So out of those, I agree that Thor, Ant-Man, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, and The Rocketeer, those should all be in the top 50 because those movies are spectacular. And the ones I disagree with, that I feel like these should definitely not be in the top 50 at all. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's like the Golden Globes. They were all drunk at work when they started voting on this. I don't know. I can't speculate. All I know is I disagree with these guys being in the top 50. And those are Power Rangers, Thor the Dark World, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and The Dark Knight Rises. I was like, man, there's so many other films that deserve to be in the top 50 over those films. If you watched my Marvel Cinematic Universe breakdown that I did of all the Marvel Cinematic films, all the movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if you haven't watched that, I'll throw that up right there, and you can go ahead and check that out. I did a breakdown of all the films going all the way back to the very first Iron Man and then moving all the way forward to Thor Ragnarok. So check that out. But you know, if you've watched that already, where I feel Thor the Dark World and Iron Man 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 should sit as far as just that universe alone, let alone every movie that has been made about superheroes up to this point. So check it out. It's a really good time. It's a bunch of different people coming on and sharing their opinion about why they feel yay or nay about the specific movie that fell in that ranking and that placement. It's a lot of fun. There are a bunch of really good folks over there. So I recommend checking that out. Again, it'll be on the Facebook Live in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that right now for you guys. So give me 1 second for that. And again, if you're watching this on the Facebook, or sorry, on the YouTube, I did throw the card up, but because it's Monday morning and everybody can use a little extra help on a Monday morning, I'll go ahead and throw it in the show notes below as well. So you guys, in case you missed that card, you can just scroll down there and you can find it. And then that'll get you squared away so you can take a look at their top 50 and then also give your thoughts as to what you think, yay or nay, on the selections that they did. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching this week's episode, well, Facebook live stream for Brunansky's vlog. Also, if you've watched this week's episode, episode 21 on YouTube, thank you so much. If you haven't, but you plan on it, I will give you a early thank you for that as well. Hope you guys are enjoying all the content that we drop here on the channel, on the YouTube channel, on the Twitter page, all the social media that you, nope, wrong hand, there it is. All the social media right here that you can find us on for Brunansky's vlog. Hope you guys have a great week. This is Star Wars week. I know I'm excited. As the weekend gets closer, my heart rate starts to increase. I cannot wait for Star Wars. So, and I can't wait to talk Star Wars with you guys next week on maybe Saturday's Facebook Live. If I have enough self-control, we'll wait until Monday's episode. But if this movie blows my mind, I may be too excited and we may have to talk about it on the next Facebook live stream, which would be on Saturday. So fingers crossed that it's super awesome and it blows our minds and melts our faces and we can all come back and talk about Star Wars this weekend. All right, everybody, have a great week. Merry Christmas. Hope everything is going well with your Christmas shopping and everybody is super pumped to see Star Wars when it hits theaters this weekend. All right, guys, I am getting out of here. It is Monday morning. I've got some edits I got to do for YouTube, and then we've got a whole week of activities ahead of us. So have a great week. See you on Saturday with Facebook Live. Thanks for watching, and have a Merry Christmas. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky, and you've just finished watching a Facebook Live replay. Now, if you enjoyed that, you may also want to check out the weekly show playlist, as well as the movie news playlist, which covers just the news segments from every Monday's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe. We'll see you guys next Monday right here on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great week. Take care.